This is a view of the Pannani, the historic Pannani mosque from the outside. You see the large structure, the Kerala tradition, built in Kerala tradition. The tradition here is it's said as a karamat of the Zainuddin Makhdum. He got this inside, a lot of wood things are there, and he got it from one tree. So the street structure is made out of one tree, they say. This is the structure. And here is the Dargah. But the interesting thing is that inside the Dargah, this facility is only for ziyarah. And there is no facility, nothing you can see as a heighted cover. The cover is the plain as it is. The plain as it is, that Makhdum's cover is maintained, and only the facility is given as additional building for
1510 Zainuddin Makhdum
Yeah. In 1500, Zainuddin Makhdum established this masjid.
Zainuddin Makhdum
First established this masjid. Okay, so this masjid is 500 years old.
500.
Okay, so tell us about the architecture and about the masjid.
ആർക്കിടെക്ചർ ഒരു അമുസ്ലിമായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ആശാരിയായിരുന്നു ഫസ്റ്റിൽ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയത്. പിന്നെ അങ്ങോട്ട് മുസ്ലിമായി, അങ്ങോട്ട് കബർ ഇവിടെ തന്നെ.
One of the Hindu carpenter, he was the architect and he became Muslim later on.
I see. We know his name?
His name?
ആശാരി തങ്ങൾ.
Yeah, it's wonderful because he was an Ashari. Ashari is carpenter.
Okay.
So and Tangal is and maybe the Makhdum named him after that. Yeah.
I see. So he
ഈ ആശാരി തങ്ങൾ മഖ്ദൂം ഒന്നാമന്റെ അടുത്ത സ്നേഹിതനായി.
Okay, he was very close friend of Makhdum first. The Ashari Tangal was when he was a Hindu fellow.
I see. So what used to happen in this mosque?
It's one of the biggest mosque in the sense this was the major higher education center for the Muslims of Kerala, and students from various countries used to come here from Sumatra, from various places of
Sumatra, Java, പിന്നെ Malaysia,
Southeast Asian countries,
Malaysia, Ceylon,
yeah, Sri Lanka also, yeah. So various countries, various places, and this center was supplying the religious people religious leaders for the entire Kerala. I can say from Mangalore to Kanyakumari.
Okay.
The religious leaders were given, trained here.
Can you give us names of some of the famous scholars?
Zainuddin Makhdums were a lot. Was second and all.
Second is പിന്നെ തൊയ്ഫത്തുൽ മുജാഹിദ്.
Yeah.
Order of the തൊയ്ഫത്തുൽ മുജാഹിദ്. Zainuddin Makhdum രണ്ടാമൻ. തൊയ്ഫത്തുൽ മുജാഹിദ്.
So the famous book Tawfiqul Mujahideen was written here.
Yeah, I can.
Some of the famous.
Umar al-Qadi is there. He's famous for it.
Tawfiqul Mujahideen ഒരു മലയാളി എഴുതിയിട്ടുള്ള ഏറ്റവും വലിയ ചരിത്രം.
I told him. Yeah, you say Tawfiqul Mujahideen is the major history book written by a Malayali. Whoever it may be, and it's a big, widely referred book, and it has its own.
പഴയ കാലത്തെ ഈ കേരളത്തിലെ ചരിത്രങ്ങളൊക്കെ പഠിക്കാനുള്ള
ഏറ്റവും major reference book for history of Kerala.
Okay, some of the scholars or some of the books that have been written in this.
A lot of books, all the three Zainuddin Makhdums, first, second, and third, all of them have written a lot of books. Fiqh, in hadith, in tafsir, in tasawwuf basically, fiqh and tasawwuf mainly. And Tawfiqul Mujahideen is a call for jihad against these Portuguese people, and it gives all about the local culture here. And you can see this is the lamp of Pannani.
കല്ലുണ്ട്.
You can see a stone. No, this is not seen. കാണാൻ കഴിയുന്നില്ല. There's a round brought by Ibn Hajar al-Haytami. I told you, he was the religious leader.
Ustad of the Zainuddin Makhdum.
Yeah, Ustad of Zainuddin
Makhdum രണ്ടാമൻ.
Yeah, I told him.
This lamp is not lighted.
Not lighted right now. This ഇപ്പന്നത് കത്തിക്കാത്ത.
ഇത് മഗ്രിബിന് ശേഷം.
Only after Maghrib it is lighted.
Earlier
too, still there is a dars going on
around this lamp.
So
how old is this lamp?
This ഈ വിളക്ക് എത്ര വാക്കാണ്?
ഒരു ഏകദേശം ഒരു 100 കൊല്ലം ഉണ്ടാവും.
It's only
In the beginning, 100?
500 വിളക്കിന് 500 വർഷം.
So it says the 500 year old.
500 years. This is more than of the.
മാത്രമല്ല ഇതിന്റെ ഈ വിളക്കത്തിരുന്ന് പഠിക്കല്.
Yeah, I told you.
അത് പറഞ്ഞില്ലേ?
It was the same. I told you earlier. There was not the system of giving titles like Faili or anything like that. So Bakar, Qasim or nothing like that. Just to sit around this lamp and learn here for 5 years, 10 years, to 15 years.
That was your sanad.
That was the sanad.
You're talking about some important saying in Malayalam about this lamp? Can you
it's Velakkathirikal. It's called Velakkathirikal. Means Velakka means the siraj, the light. And to sit, irikal means to sit. So Velakkathirikal is called. Yeah? And I told you it's called Musliar only is the bill called like So this stone was brought by Ibn Hajar al-Haytami, the 15th century scholar from Makkah. He brought this particular stone he brought from Makkah. So that's why this sanad is given.
Okay.
And all the major scholars were product of Pannani, and the Pannani syllabus is widely followed, not the Nizami syllabus which is followed in North India. So now after 1920, when the Vailur Baqiyat Saliyat was there, then there's a mixture of, there was not that much importance for this logic, mantik and this kind of philosophical things came from North India.
I see.
The importance was fiqh and tasawwuf.
I see.
I told you ilm and tasawwuf was the major thing of the scholars. There were the Sufi leaders themselves and the Sufi sheikhs and scholars.
So the education is still going on in this masjid?
There is not that much big legacy is there.
But they do it.
That legacy is deteriorated, but still education is going on. The same education. Now still nominally there is a 40th Makdoum is there.
40. Now it's the Makdoum, Sayyid MP Muttukoya Tangal.
Sayyid MP Muttukoya Tangal, the 40th Makdoum.
He's
Sayyid MP Muttukoya Tangal.
He is not available on phone.
Out of India,
Okay, yeah.
He's the Imam.
Yeah, he is the 40th Makdoum.
Okay, and this is the hall that we're seeing is the original hall.
He is the original 500 year old.
500 years old. And this stairs is going on, so that means the second floor was there at that time?
No.
Later, it was added later?
The entire structure is 200 year old.
Okay.
First, this sector only.
I see.
Okay, this is the light in the Pannani, one of the lights. Okay, and we will go to the other light which is considered as getting a sanad. If you sit here, it is considered as a sanad. And this man who is the muazzin in this mosque, he is just lighting up this old traditional 500-year-old this light, and he is doing that right now. This is the light where you sit and get the knowledge of Islam. It's considered the biggest honor for the Muslim scholar. Students from various countries, especially Southeast Asian countries other than Kerala, they were used to come here and study. And students from Java and all, you can see, have written explanations and commentaries on books written by Makdooms who taught here. And here is the specially made member of this mosque. It's wonderful to see the Hindu carpenters were making all the beautiful mihrabs here. This is, that's a 200-year-old structure. You can see have a nice look to the architecture which is given here. Here in Kerala, we have the tradition of taking a sword while the Khatib delivering his sermon, this Friday sermon. He gives this Friday sermon using, taking this sword in this hand. So this is the sword. How many old this sword? This, he says this is 500-year-old, this sword, and Makdoum was using. this particular sword for long time. So still ഇപ്പോഴും തന്നെയാണ് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നത് ജുമാക്ക്. Still for on Juma day, this particular sword is used for delivering sermon by the Khatib.